Hi, I hope you're keeping safe and well. This is Esther from Stampin Star Creations. Today I've got a colour challenge that was set for me over on Facebook with the SU Colour Challenge. You can just ask for colours and have some set for you. So I was given Flirty Flamingo, Magenta Madness, Balmy Blue, Smoky Slate and So Saffron. I'm using the watercolour paper today with my stamping positioning tool, which is called a stamparatus, and using the jar of flowers stamp set to go ahead and stamp in the smoky slate. I'm using the stamparatus because it means you can keep coming back with the same image and make sure that image is covered. Because it's slightly bumpy textured paper, it's great to use for this. So just flipping around my window, so you've got multi-surfaces with this tool, so you've got 4 surfaces in total, so you can pull out your windows and flip them over to add some more stamps. So just completing my picture with some water and some flowers and stems, and using my aqua pen to just shade in the colour that I've laid down in Balmy Blue. I decided to add some more blue tint to the jar, as this just gave a nice look to it, so just adding some more colour in. I knew I wanted the larger flowers to be in the pinky colours, so I'm using the yellow So Saffron to colour in the smaller flowers in my picture. And then because I have a limited colour palette, I just decided to use a touch of the Balmy Blue for the leaves in my picture. Then just coming back to lay down some more colour to make it more intense in where the stems are. And just filling in those lines and building up the colour on the jar. Then bringing in Magenta Madness, it obviously is slightly more watered down, but it's still got that lovely vibrant pink colour on the roses, and just colouring those in, giving it a watercolour wash all over in the pink, and then you can always come back and give it more intense colour. So I like to do this in the centre of the flowers, and then just where the petals meet the flower itself, as if it's a real life flower. Next, I'm slightly mixing the magenta with the Flirty Flamingo, so I've got a nice blend of colour, and laying that down on the other flowers. Because you've got the outline of the flowers, it's a really nice, easy way to do some watercolouring. And again, laying down some more intense colour in the centres of those flowers. Then using my pen with the ink on it, I'm just hitting it over my finger to create some splatters on the top half where the flowers are. This just gives a lovely kind of movement to the paper and a nice effect. And just grounding the jar, I need something for the jar to sit on, so I'm using Smoky Slate and just creating some shadow and a line at the bottom. I decided to pull out my scraps of ink colours to see what I had, and I thought, oh, it might look quite nice with just a strip of colour down the left hand side, so I'm using the Magenta Madness. Next, using some very vanilla cardstock and a stamp from Massive Thanks stamp set, and we're going with Well All I Can Say Is, and then I'm going to choose a different sentiment for inside. These foam sheets are really handy just to cut down to size, so I've cut down a strip so I can pop up my sentiment on dimensionals. I was going to use these embellishments. I tried to colour them in my blender pen, but I think because they have a shiny surface it was having troubles picking up the colour, so I opted for these lovely gold pearls instead, which I think actually look quite nice. I knew I wanted to have a very vanilla border, but I found that the border was just a bit too thick, so I'm going ahead and just trimming down the very vanilla border to make it a bit thinner to go on my card. There, that's better. I was more happy with that. And then going to put it on the Balmy Blue. So I'm using the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue to adhere my papers together. I find this is great glue for giving yourself a chance to be able to move it about to get it in the right position. For the inside, I usually just centre text, but this calls for a card. Then I just felt like it needed a bit of Wink of Stella. Now, this is a new Wink of Stella, gave it a big squeeze and I managed to blob a couple of blobs out onto my work surface. So I'm desperately trying to salvage what I can, and this is probably a bit more Wink of Stella'd than I would have initially wanted, but it's fine, you can't go too wrong with a bit of glitter. You can see it's shimmering and shining, and it just catches the light, which adds a nice detail of sparkle. And there's the card. Well, all I can say is, on the outside, I usually just send a text, but this calls for a card. It's a great set to be able to mix and match. Do subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber.